What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pro League 2016 Day 1. We're going into our second team match.
Yep, so last game was the Freak of Freaks against SK Telecom.
There we are! There we are! That's a great photo of us.
I still can't get over that photo, but back to what I was saying before. SK Telecom T1 taking that series quite convincingly 3-0 against the Freak of Freaks. No surprises there, to be honest, but I expect this game to be much more closer. KT Rolster against Samsung Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed our first series. It just was brutally one-sided, but you can't really complain too much. I mean, that lineup from SKT was pretty damn good.
They brought out their big guns for that match, and we got the results of that game so far. As we see the KT players running past us, I guess.
They are actually running down. Okay, so just so you guys know, we a second there. This is Samsung Galaxy. So a second ago, right in front of our desk, we saw a bunch of KT players running past us to get down there.
So I guess first opponent Losira is one of those actually running down as yeah, first game will be Losira against Journey here on Lerilak Crest.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. What are your thoughts on this match going in?
Losira has actually improved a lot since he's joined KT. He's one of those players that did really well in Wings of Liberty, kind of struggled in Harvest Swarm, and he's making a renaissance, a resurgence in form basically in Legacy of the Void. And Journey, he's one of those newer players, hasn't really shown that many results, but he's the second tier Terran behind Reality on that team. So Stork and the coaching staff have a lot of faith in him, and which is being played in front of players like Hurricane and Bravo kind of shows how much faith that Stork and Frozen, the coaching staff at Samsung Galaxy, have on him.
I personally think Losira should take this. I mean, he's just the veteran, the seasoned player. Experience is so important, and when I'm talking about experience, I don't just mean game time. I mean, I'm talking about a time in the booth with the world watching you. The pressure's on. You have to execute what you practice. Not to take anything away from Journey, but I think that's just an inherent advantage that Losira is going to have coming into this.
As we just saw Losira actually walk by us, looks like he's going to go to the bathroom, so we will take a while until we get into the game. Looking at the other games for today, we have TY against Solar, Zest versus DL, and Sats versus Reality. We'll talk about those games once that graphic comes up onto the screen. So KT versus Samsung, I think they're actually two of the oldest esports teams out there.
Yeah, they are. Well, these guys are both major sponsors within esports, so they've done a lot of support. They've been with Pro League and been with Starcraft for a very long time.
So we'll talk about the first team here on our screen, KT Rolster, head coach HOT Forever, if you remember that name.
I think it was HOT 486.
Yes, and
yeah,
he's a
old
2v2
school,
partner.
Old school Zerg player. I think HOT was actually a pop group.
Yeah,
in
it's
Korea.
a K-pop group, and the coach for Samsung Galaxy, Stork, a favorite Protoss player.
I love Stork's play, man. Yep. I love him in StarCraft 2, I love him in Brood War. And I definitely think this is one of the great minds of StarCraft history, really able to teach and educate and mentor these players.
As we see the games, as mentioned before, going to this graphic, our first game will be Losira against Journey on Lerilak Crest. Second game will be TY against Solar on Arena. Third game will be Zest against DL on Orbital Shipyard. Fourth game will be Stats against Reality on Ruins of Ceres. And if it goes to 2-2 and we need that ace match, we'll be going Dust Towers. Cool.
Well, for our first match, I am expecting Losira to take this, but I think the other matches, it's a little bit more shaky. I actually had a tough time, just out of curiosity, when you saw Stats against Reality, who did you go for?
I went for Stats.
I actually went for Reality, but I'm not sure if that was the right bet. I really didn't know.
I just factored in the point that Protoss vs Terran has been leaning towards Protoss recently, but that new patch has come out, so maybe strategies have changed throughout the past few days, and Reality might stand more of a chance in that matchup, as I think TY versus Solo is also one of those matchups where you can't really pick a winner. I picked Solo in this case.
Really? I went with TY. Oh, man. We are on opposite sides. Did you pick Losira to win in the first one?
Of course I did.
Of course you did. Well, I mean, your predictions are not lining up with Tasteless's, and he has not been wrong yet in this tournament.
Well, I don't think any of us has been wrong except for Kanata. So.
There was Kanata, and then
And,
there was one other commentator, now I'm forgetting his name, but so far we're undefeated.
Yes, we're undefeated.
Now let's remember, guys, let's keep track of who is in fact better at predictions here. There's no Artosis here, but we can see who's right. So I'm going with Losira here. You are too. I think that basically everybody's going to do that.
Yes, I think everyone's going to go for Losira. Unless Journey has some sort of snipe strategy, I think Losira's straight-up play is much better than Journey. So,
and we've seen a lot of these players who were really solid back in Wings doing very well. I mean, Alive is playing brilliantly. He looks so good. Losira from that same period of time. So, I don't know, man. Maybe Losira will do it here.
As Losira has been really impressive in Legacy of the Void so far. We haven't really seen much of Journey though. He's a bit of an unknown entity, but he did play some games
Journey's still really good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Journey's still really good.
Yeah.
We've seen a very little bit of him. I'm just going with the old school, with Losira here.
Basically, whoever has more experience, and in this case, it's Losira. So, looking at the matchup sheet, both players are trending up, so it seems that they're both in good form so far in Legacy of the Void.
So it's going to be, coming into this, a pretty interesting match. I mean, ZVP, we've already seen some changes here in the new patch for the Legacy, so Protoss can't rely as heavily on pylon cannons as much as they could before, where it seemed almost like it could be a little bit abusive. Some of the functions of the Adept have changed here, so early game, let's see what exactly Journey's going to do as a Protoss player against, this player, Terran player, against this.
Yeah.
I saw that on the sheet. Sorry, I was like, what? I'm like, look at that. I'm like, that.
I believe that was a typo.
Yeah,
so
okay.
There's nothing to blame.
No, I had the same thing. I'm looking at that. I'm like, all right, I guess I don't know.
Maybe a race change from
we have these sheets that were given to us, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, wow, all right, well, we better start changing this in here. Okay. Anyways, we'll be starting this match pretty soon here.
Yep, so Losira just had to go to the bathroom real quickly, so...
Yeah, he should be back over there pretty soon. But anyways, okay, so ZVT here. That really threw me off there for a second. That's so weird. So, anyways, let's see what exactly Journey's going to be able to do here. Journey, he's had some solid openings early on. Losira, though, if you look back at how well he did in Wings, this guy, if you remember, he was the guy that always lost his hatchery and then still won the game. Do you remember this? In a lot of ZVTs way back when?
Yeah, like
he actually had really good game sense early on. He really knew how to actually take control, even if he was messing up. So I would give that to him having a lot of instinct in the early game. So, having to think on his feet here in a fairly new expansion, he might be able to do pretty well.
Yep. So we see the statistics here for both Losira and Journey. Journey actually giving strategy and willpower talents. So basically Journey giving a lot of props to Losira. Losira, on the other hand, only even in terms of trust, whatever that means.
Yeah, I actually need to talk to our producer after this, because now that I'm seeing this graphic, I'm not sure exactly what they mean by trust.
Yeah. I can't wait till Trust actually plays a game, and then we'll be like, Trust.
Yeah, and he better have the highest stats in that. So these guys fairly evenly matched. They've met before.
Yep, 3-2 in favor of Losira, I believe. Actually...
All right, here we go. Already mixing it up.
Yeah, so Carson Che and Mr. Udaeon deciding to go for Journey in this game. Myself, Kanata, and you going for Losira with a safe pick. I guess they believe in Journey as much more than we do, so...
Well, let's see what happens, man. I mean, it's best of one. You can expect anything. If you're just now joining us, we are going to be going, it's going to be 5 total games if we actually can get that far. It's the first to 3 wins. Basically, team versus team, best of 5. And this is going to be game number 1 between these two. Journey versus Losira. All right, we're on. In the bottom left, in the red, Losira. In the upper right, it's like our Protoss player, Journey. No, he's our Terran player.
Yeah, that Terran player. Apologies about that previous error, but I love how Losira just sits there in the booth with like his eyes on the monitor. It's like fierce. He's got that.
Yeah, he's got the eye of the tiger going on, man.
Cross positions like we saw last match on Lerilak Crest between Classic and Curious. Lerilak Crest is one of those large maps where you can take over the map and basically control your half of the map, and with the way that Terran versus Zerg matchup works with all these drops and stuff, being in cross positions is a lot better than being vertically or horizontally spawned with your opponent.
You think better for Terran or better for Zerg?
Better for Zerg.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say. I think it's definitely a spot that Zerg is going to prefer to be in. Now, we've seen a lot of different styles of ZVT and TVZ in this matchup. We've seen a lot of timing attacks from Zergs coming up. We have seen some Nidus all-ins. I don't know if we're going to have that in this game, but, I mean, expect anything. We have seen from Terrans as well, the tanks become reincorporated in TVZ because you can have these really favorable exchanges where you do pick up the medevac and relocate and drop that again, making, you know, Bane Ling, when they do come in, you can actually have a lot more siege tank shots fired off. But then Terran does have to balance that that tightrope act with you know, Marines making sure they're actually being healed up after they're stemmed, and not just with medevacs microing around and your Marines dying almost immediately. Especially on a map like Lerilak Crest, where you have that upper ground in that middle. Yeah. A lot of engagements are going to happen in that middle area, so it's going to be really interesting how Journey approaches this game, how he uses, though, if he decides to go for that tank medevac play, how he not abused, but how he utilizes that terrain to his advantage against Losira. Yeah, let's see how exactly he opts to do that. We have that first Reaper coming out. This is pretty typical in almost all the Terran matchups, almost all the time, that you get a Reaper out there early. You know, Legacy of the Void, it's much more heavily dependent on getting a multitude of bases up and running as quickly as possible. So having the Reaper up allows you to scout, allows you to gauge exactly how much they're doing. The Reaper can get away pretty easily, and oh my god, almost got that drone. It was a really nice move there with that grenade before that extractor got built by that drone, but unfortunately for Journey, as cute as that play was, couldn't get that drone kill, and as a result, that Queen comes out, Reaper has to back off, and we see Hellions coming out from that factory that's got a reactor on it. Yeah, and this is pretty typical. He can then combo that with those two Hellions with the Reaper, try to come forward and put on a little bit of pressure here. We do see Ling's speed about to finish, and Terran normally have this timed out where they don't want to be too close to the Zerg as that Ling speed finishes, because that's how they're going to end up getting caught. Sure. As we see, Reaper actually taking out one Zergling there. Nice victory there for Journey. As we see Speedling almost done, and actually quick speed on the Overlord from Losira, which is quite a neat touch. I guess he just wants to see what Journey's doing right now, click Banshee. You know, and we've also seen later on, this might go well with some possible drops. Oh my god! You know, you don't normally see a surround with that many Lings. That has to be a perfect surround to get the Reaper like that, with 5 Lings. Especially with the Hellions out on the map, it's quite bad there from Journey losing that Reaper, but it looks like he's going to try and get as much damage as he can from these Hellions. We'll see how much damage these do. That's 2 drones so far. A lot of Zerglings being pumped as well. We'll see if he gets that creep tumor. Yes, he does. As we see, Baneling nest in the production tab for Losira, so it looks he's looking to get some early damage in with those Banelings if he chooses to go for that. The Hellions are backing up. Oh, I love it. He hid the drone over there in the far left. We only just caught it for a split second, but it was really cool. Hid the drone on the far left, so when the Hellions peeked in and flew and ran back out, he then immediately planted the hatch. So Zerg might be thinking possibly that, Terran might be thinking that there's a possible attack coming up here. But in fact, it looks like Losira is going to continue to just macro up. Now the Hellions are going to poke back in again and then see, okay, he's got a hatchery there. Banshee en route, by the way, headed down to the bottom. But there's Spore Crawlers being built in each of the mineral lines of Losira, so that along with these 3 Queens should deflect this Banshee harass. You got to be careful with that Banshee, you don't want to overextend. Sure. As we'll see Journey's transition from this, getting that one Viking to take out those Overlords around the map. Really nice move there. Getting that stim as well, getting a couple of barracks, engineering bays. He isn't thinking about taking a 3rd though, so it looks like he wants to get those tech buildings up before he's taking a 3rd. Yeah, it seems like that's the direction he's going to be taking this. The hatchery about to finish now, as the Queens just chug forward a little bit further. And Stim is going to be finished. I don't think Terran's going to be out on the map just yet. I think he's just going to use these Banshees to keep Zerg stapled back in his base. Oh, well, he's got to be careful, though.
Ooh, that Banshee's on very low health, but there's actually an advantage here for Journey actually getting that drone that's been main-arding to third base of Losira. And these Hellions actually just pump into the base.
Whoa, whoa,
Losira.
whoa,
Let's see how much
really bad control there. And the Hellions are now going to come back. Now, he only got 3 drones, so he would ideally have wanted to get more drones than just this for this attack to actually pay for itself. Bailing's now coming down here. Queens continue to do some more damage.
I don't think...
You know, I got to say, I thought that was going to be better when we saw the Hellions going in, but when he actually did the attack, not so much. And by the way, those Banshees are still unattended just outside of his base. If he wants, we can march up there with Queens and maybe even take that out. Oh, gets away just in time. Nicely done.
So it looks like Journey is intending to take that third base there. Using that Viking to take out that Overlord that was placing creep down, as we see upgrades here from Losira, armor, as well as that Baneling speed. Looks like he's just wants to work on getting his drone count up, getting that creep sped up, because a really important point of this map is trying to get creep onto that middle ground. So when you fight on that middle ground, you have that creep advantage against the Terran.
And we have the Spire coming down now as Zerg continues to tech up. The 2 Banshees are going to come up now. And no Cigar, they will back up.
They don't have any energy on them, so I think he should move around to the middle of the map, pick off some units, and then move back, get those Banshees repaired, wait for that energy to come back. And that should lose this one.
Apparently he's not going to do that. It looks like that he was hoping to maybe pick off a drone that would have been coming down there to expand. This is triggering Journey's push.
Yeah, so sees that Journey, feels that this is the timing to go for right now. His +1 weapons and armor is about to finish, so it looks like that he feels this is the right time to do some damage while that 4th is going down, and we have to see how this goes.
Yeah, Zerg might be in okay shape to hold this. We're going to have to see. I mean, when you have Hellbats like this, a lot of it does come down to the angles in which they actually engage them, and I don't... Whoa!
Some really nice hits there from Journey using those Hellbats to soak up the damage, and these Marines are just going to run rampant around this. I
have to say, I'm a little bit shocked that Losira sent that out there. I was about to, before that attack actually occurred, I was going to say, probably would be unwise to try to attack across those rocks there. You really would like to bait them in to where you can trap them.
Yeah, because it's a very narrow choke point there, as we saw in Curious versus Sue, the previous game, where you don't really want to be attacking to a narrow point of the map.
And it can also be, the point of no return if you get stuck over in that position.
As we see Journey pushing out with those Marines and Widow Mines. We haven't seen any tanks yet, so it looks like it's favoring...
I think he's just going to go for this style of play, the Widow Mine Marine. It's more of a Heart of the Swarm style of play, but it's not like it doesn't work here in Legacy of the Void either.
Exactly. I feel like Terran versus Zerg is one of those matchups that has changed the least, coming from Heart of the Swarm to Legacy of the Void. So a lot of the strategies that are used in Heart of the Swarm are still applicable in this matchup in Legacy of the Void.
Okay, Stimming coming down now. We do see Losira just staying back. Journey's actually splitting his army up into 2 spots, so you got to be careful because you might end up losing both armies on different spots on the map. He's actually microing really well on both fronts. Are you seeing this? This is pretty impressive.
He's doing a really nice job with his Marine control, but once those Mulists come out, I think he'll have to back off because those medevacs will be really vulnerable to Blob of Mulists. Oh, nice pickup there. Doesn't get hit by those Banelings.
All right, he's going to drop down over here. Just starting to target down this Spine Crawler. More Lings are coming up. And he actually picks up and tries to back out. He may try to bait the Mutas into the Widow Mine over here. I think this army in the far lower right of the map probably going to have to back up. And by the way, Hive is almost done as well as +1 air attack.
So once we get those extra gases up from that 4th base of Losira, he'll be able to transition to that Hive tech quite comfortably. His upgrade's looking pretty well so far. Fire attacks nearly done for his Mulist, as we see those adrenal glands and the +2 for his ground units being built so far for Losira.
Scan here by Journey does identify that the Hive tech has started. We do see finally he's getting his 4th base up here at the top center. Oh my god, gotta be careful here.
Oh, gets a hit, but it's only splash damage on the Mulist. That's not what he wanted there. He wanted to get that juicy hit on those Mulists.
I wonder if he's gonna try to regroup and attack in his second here. Because his army's actually cut in half. Zerg just keep moving up and down the middle of the map while this army's out here. I'm not sure how much damage these two Terran armies are actually doing.
Yeah.
It is, of course, getting Journey enough time to get an expansion up here. He's got Liberators there as well to help to defend.
Yeah, I think at this point, Journey needs to back off from that bottom right, maybe reestablish his army, join them together at the upper ground, because as I mentioned before, time and time again, you do not want to get the Zerg to spread creep on that middle ground, because that's where most of the action is going to happen on in this matchup.
Well, looks like he's got Zerg pushed back a decent amount. The Mutas and the Overseer are coming up now. All right, Losira's going to back up now. Widowmine's burrowing. Nice takedown here by...
as well.
And he's backing up. Unfortunately, he doesn't have most of his army here. I don't know if he's going to be able to deal with these Banelings. Another drop over here in the center left.
We'll see how this drop does. Has to pick up though, because there's the threat of Banelings, and this Mutalisk army, they should be killing those Medivacs in that base, but unfortunately, because of that threat of that big army, the Widowmines, the Marines, and the Medivacs at that bottom right, he can't really do anything about it. As he picks up the
gotta
Medivac.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful.
But,
he needs some Lings underneath those Mutas if he's going to effectively engage that, and that's what he's going to do right here. And a nice job, even taking out those Medivacs, not even targeting the ground with the Mutas, immediately turning around. But we have a Liberator push coming down here right now. He is focusing on the fourth base. I think Zerg might actually have to go around and attack him from above.
Sure. He needs to flank, but actually he doesn't want to go for a flank. He actually wants to face his army head on with his Baneling, Lings, and Mutalisk. Mutalisk taking out those Liberators. Not really in use right there, but...
oh, nicely done. And you know what? I guess that was a great calculation there by Losira. He really identified that even if the ground army from Terran was strong, once the Mutas get in there, they can take out all those Liberators. And that's a lot of build time to get those Liberators out. But as you can see here, Terran's really focusing on air here.
Yeah.
Actually, when there's 4 Liberators coming out at a time, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but you have to remember that Medivacs also come out of those Starports rather, so he has to decide between if he wants Medivacs to help heal that army.
It's a balancing act.
As those Liberators just doing some damage on those air units, but those the main goal of those Liberators is to zone out that Baneling clump of Losira.
Losira might actually have to start expanding towards the center left. Terran's push potential there is just too strong. We have an attack over here, not much to defend. These SCVs frantically repairing this turret, and then the Liberators come up. It looks like we have some SCVs. I think he was attempting to repair that, but to no avail.
Actually, I'm really surprised how much repair...
This is a disaster right now for Zerg.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised how much repair Journey got onto that turret. I thought that turret was going to go down to those Mutalisks.
Well, that's split-second reacting, and you have to click that right at the start of that.
And some really nice multitasking here from Journey, attacking in multiple fronts.
I think there's actually a chance that Losira could just die here. He has to get his army regrouped. If he loses this bottom base, he should end up losing the game. And with Terran, it's supply this high, I'm not sure if Losira can stop him.
Yeah, I mean, Journey has done a really good job here, just being on the front base of Losira, and Losira can't really move out with that creep spread. He's, okay, as you mentioned before, he's expanding in that 9 o'clock position, but Journey's got 4 bases running quite safely here, and if Losira does not do anything about it, he's going to lose the game.
He might be able to intercept this army. He does have some ultras in here, which could be a little bit scary.
Scans, does the right move,
yeah, that was
back.
Oh, Widowmine's burrow, that scares the Zerg back.
And I feel that at this point, with a supply advantage, he needs to regroup his army, because he knows that, he should know that taking his army on face first is the best way for him to win this game.
All right, well, Zerg, it's a game of cat and mouse here. I mean, if Terran wants to stand his ground, there's not a lot that Zerg can do.
Oh, gets Viper. That's unfortunate there for Losira.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising.
As he has to move back. I think at this point, he can't really fight the army, so he has to work on spreading that creep up onto that upper ground.
Okay, this is the same problem for Zerg here. Terran basically makes it almost impossible for Zerg to engage in here. Let's see, I think a lot of things went wrong for...
Nice
oh my God!
Really nice shots.
Unreal. That, I think, is going to be game.
That was a bad engagement from Losira. GG.
Right. So there were a couple things that were happening back there. I feel like Losira could have actually wiped out one of those Terran armies that were hitting from the 2 sides. But that kept him busy enough that eventually he was able to push down with those Liberators. And with Liberators being cranked out like that, when you get enough of them, if Terran can sneak across the map and set up position, you are not going to stop that army.
Really impressive play there from Journey there, using those drops to his advantage, making sure that that creep would not be spread out to the middle of the map. Also, I think Losira's problem there was that he didn't really use much of the map to his advantage, not really doing any surrounds, just deciding that going for a huge attack through the front was a better idea, which was definitely not in that case.
Man, that was unfortunate to see Losira get taken down there. He did look a little bit outclassed there. Journey, though, just a really solid player.
Really solid game there for Journey, and our 100% record in prediction is over.
It's over, man.
Yeah, so our next game.
When I'm not #1, I can't do this anymore, man.
You're just gonna walk up.
My pride. All right, we're gonna go on to our next match.
TY against Solar on Arena, and this, in my opinion, is the highlight game of today. Both of these players are really solid. Solar being top of the Legacy of the Void GM ranking for quite some time before Patience took over. And TY also found his groove in Legacy of the Void as well. So I believe these two are like maybe top 10, top 20 of the players so far in Korea. And it's
I think that's safe to say for sure. TY, he's really been impressing everybody. Got some support here from Journey, excuse me, in the audience. I don't know. What do you think about this next one?
I think Solar's going to take it. I just feel that Solar is the more stronger overall player. TY relies more on those snipe strategies. But we just have to see how this game plays out. It's like, this is one of those predictions that I was kind of like tossing and turning over. Because both these players are like really close skill-wise.